Chair. Thanks for those of you who've been hanging out so long. I am Irene Weiser. I'm a council member of the town of Caroline in Thomas County, and I'm here to speak out in opposition to this power plant. I similarly in Congressman in my home county, I speak out against in opposition to the repowering of the Cuba power plant. And I've learned some things from the proceedings that have gone on for well over 2 years in regards to that. That have informed my thinking on this proceeding. And first of all, I question the profitability of this plant compared to the Cuba plant, which in their most recent repowering proposal also claimed that they would have a capacity factor of 50 to 70% and a heat rate about 10,500. And they were requesting a $9.6 million a year subsidy because they found that without that subsidy, they would not be profitable to operate. We did our own independent economic analysis and found that the plan would likely be marginally profitable even with that subsidy. So I question whether or not there will be a profitable plant. I also want to question the need. And we've heard many people already speak about the fact that this load zone has an excess of capacity. It doesn't mean that there aren't some local reliability needs, and I heard some comments tonight about some voltage sags, but those are pretty vague comments. And so I would like to request that there be a NISO study to actually demonstrate what kind of need there is. The other thing, though, and this was actually the more troubling piece to me, is that there is discussion about the need would actually be demonstrated by the fact that the plant is profitable. And that's a problem. And it's a problem ultimately with REV, ultimately with the vision of REV being market-driven. Because if in fact, I'm wrong, that this plant will be profitable, and maybe that's why Cayuga is now getting looked at as a potential buyer, is that we're in the era of zombie plants coming back to life, is that it's because the market is driving us in the wrong direction. And we're seeing that right now with the retirement of Fitzpatrick, saying that they're uneconomic to operate with they're not able to be competitive with coal. And while I'm not in the big picture a fan of nukes, I am a big fan of reducing our carbon footprint and seeing the government reduce our carbon footprint. And we're not going to get there by closing down nuke plants and bringing on gas plants that are going to increase our emissions. So I think that we're getting the wrong market signals. And the reason they're occurring, ultimately, is because we all subsidize something right now, and Jack alluded to this a bit earlier. We subsidize the cost of carbon dioxide. We subsidize it in our taxes and in the flooding that we have and in the health impacts and all of the ways that global warming is affecting us. We are all subsidizing that with our taxes. So in the big picture, the fix for that is a carbon tax. And that will help the market correct itself and get the right signals for the right kind of production. But in the meanwhile, because carbon tax is not something that the Public Service Commission has authority to do, in the meanwhile, there is something I think that the PSC can do in this instance, and it has to do with the question of environmental compatibility. Typically, the Commission examines environmental compatibility with a pretty narrow footprint, basically looking at the local impacts. And I would urge the Commission to broaden their view to take into account the global impacts and to require that in any instance of power that wants to come online, that it be subjected to the question as to whether there are any lower CO2 emission solutions that are possible to remedy whatever the reliability need is. That we can't just let the market drive these otherwise, we can't let the market drive things when we're not paying the cost for the carbon emissions. Takes us in the wrong direction. I also would like to call on the governor's leadership. I get it about the jobs that have been lost here, and the governor to provide a fund that will provide transition support to communities that lose power plants. I would love to see the governor work to extend that fund to provide support to this community as well. And there are a lot of things that can happen that can bring jobs that are longer term jobs. Not the first answer being renewables, but jobs to decommission the plant, to deconstruct the plant, to remediate the property. There are lots of good jobs that can be made here and elsewhere in upgrading transmission lines, which needs to happen to bring solar on board. So I'd encourage those kinds of